All right. Yeah, now it's live. Yay. Finally. Okay. Yeah, it's funny. He was waiting for me to say, done, and said, okay, well, I'm done. And then it's just weird things. And, I'm learning more things as I read some of the different options. Apparently, I could make a trailer that you can watch while we're waiting to go live, which is, it sounds like fun. I'd have to figure something out. But welcome, everybody. I'm glad to have everyone today. Excuse me just a minute. I hope everyone had a good Halloween / Samhain weekend. And now I'll show off for the other camera. This came in earlier this week. I had t-shirts made for our lovely video team. See if you can see it on the camera, but and this would be your t-shirt. Can you
go a little bit more to your left?
Okay, let me.
Right. There you go.
There we go. Okay, yeah. Yes, Bride of the Mummy. And this is actually going to be your t-shirt, Darren. But that's what it looks like
in person. It looks even more impressive.
Yeah.
In person than it does on camera.
Yeah, but ours came in, so.
And can actually, folks order one?
Yes, they can. If you look in the link, the description for this video, there's a link to Zazzle, to my Zazzle store. You go there, and it's the newest product. So.
By the way, the reason that we put it on Zazzle is because it would be cheaper through Zazzle for you guys.
Yeah, because the funny thing is the way merchandise works on Patreon is you have to, like if you wanted the t-shirt, you'd have to be a top-tier subscriber for 3 months. And so that means you'd be paying about triple for what you would for if you just wanted to buy the t-shirt outright. And I was like, you know what, that's a better deal. Just go and buy it outright. So that
way you can continue your patronage and have a nice shirt.
Yeah, you can, all that good stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to show that to everybody, beforehand, so you can see it and be like, hey, cool, and just because I was really excited when they came in, so I was like, I have to show these off. So, so there you go.
They are amazing. You'll want to wrap yourself up in our Bride of the Mummy t-shirt.
Sarcastic, like, oh, hey, I forgot it's Friday. And, okay, Brian, I thought you were saying Nam Myoho. At first glance, it looked like Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. But he said, oh, Myoho Nini Kyo. Very cute. But yes. So, hopefully this will work out because I've got like an extra little setup over here for Osiris that's right next to the Aku shrine. So, we're going to be doing our Osiris Mysteries. And the funny thing is, in ancient times, that would have gone on over like the course of a week and a half, but we kind of have it condensed. So I was actually looking at the calendar going, okay, so what are we going to do next week? It'll be kind of a continuation of sorts, but we'll figure it out. So, right now we're doing the big event, especially because it's right after Halloween and Samhain, so it's still right in that time frame, for that sort of thing. So
yeah.
And if you need some water, just let me know. I have some for us.
Okay.
So the only thing I don't have is like paper towels, but if you need some, I'll let you out so you can get them. Okay. But okay, and well, we're about to find out if the water is like freezing tonight or if it's actually a little warmer. Because it seemed warm when I was getting it from the tap.
We will test it.
Yes.
On Darren.
This is instead of Captain Solo. Yeah. Yes, we're all about movie quotes around here. Okay. Alrighty. Here it is. Okay. These cool waters are upon our hands. And they purify us. This technique purifies us. Hail unto you, unto you. We come unto you without falsehood and without evil. Our purity is upon our hands. Our purity is within our hearts. And we have cast out all evil that pertains to us. We are pure, we are pure, we are pure, we are pure. Hey, don't you do that! That's my stole. Don't. Trying to wipe your hands on my leopard stole.
It was blessed water. What's the problem?
Well, the idea is it's washing away the impurities. So you're like, yeah. It's like Bugs Bunny. Stop steaming up my tail.
It's been one of those days, y'all.
We're
We ain't even been fed right.
going to fix all of that. I'll feed you grapes. Seriously, because they're on the offering plate. So.
Well, I can't take from the gods.
Well, afterwards. And you know what's interesting is I've been doing some research because we had some questions about how does Kemetic practice relate to Greco-Roman practice. And what's interesting is I noticed that seems that in Greek and especially Roman practice, the things that you offer are not consumed. For a lot of folks, it's afterwards you go and you give it to the critters or something like that. Whereas in Egyptian tradition, it's more common to consume the offerings afterwards. So that's a little bit of a difference that I noticed. And I'll as I compare and make notes and stuff, I'll be able to put that into a video. But that's just one little observation, since we were just talking about offerings and what's here and what's going to go on with it. Because one of your little peppers I picked, and it's fresh picked and on the plate as well.
Cool.
So, oh, don't worry about being late. It's okay. What would you recommend for those who only have an image of Osiris on their shrine, but not none of the other accoutrements?
Time?
Wait, for those who only have an image of Osiris on their shrine, but none of the other things. Well, so what goes in the bog stays in the bog. Oh yeah, enjoy. Okay, so I'm noticing that there's like about a minute worth of lag time. It looks like from what I'm saying, and then what is kind of coming up. But I'll try and go slow and go with that. But the question somebody had was, what do you do if you have an altar image but not any of the other articles? Well, this is stuff that I've accumulated over several years. So just, be patient. And sometimes if all you have is, household things, then, it's okay to use those until you can get something specifically for, altar use. It's something that kind of gets assembled over time, and eventually you get nicer things and end up phasing something else out. So
Right.
Shrines kind of grow and evolve with you, is what I've noticed. Because
I would also to stay on what they were saying earlier about offerings of food and whatnot, not going for. I think it's the same way in Japan, right? In Shinto and others, they don't eat it themselves; they'll leave it to nature or whatever.
Not necessarily. Well, you know what? I have to say I don't know, and it may even depend on who you're talking to. When I was practicing with Japanese Buddhists, it was typically what they offered was fruit. They would have that on the offering plate, and it was something that was meant to be eaten afterwards. And like at New Year's, they would offer mochi. And, those were intended to be eaten afterwards. And I would offer Pocky, and they thought that was pretty cute, but we'd eat that afterwards. So, that may be different if you went to, a Shinto household, they might do it a different way. I noticed a lot of households also would, like Mama-chan would take a little bit of the rice that she cooked and form a little ball, and there was like a little tray that, she would offer a fresh ball of cooked rice, to her, Buddhist altar.
Yeah, every morning and afternoon.
Yeah, well, it's because she also was doing her gongyo every morning and afternoon, and of course, she, was retired and lived alone, so she, didn't have anybody to pester her, while she did that. But when you're younger, you're a little busier.
I'd also mentioned that from a Kemetic standpoint, they often had like what I use is miniatures or images of something in stone or whatever.
Oh yeah. Because Yamanu's altar is really neat. He has models of food, so if he doesn't have any food to offer, he's got the models of it. So so it's always represented there. Yeah. Oh yeah, and somebody's going to be doing a raising of the Jed, and yeah, basically, set it up, and then there's a little hymn to the Jed that is recorded from the 18th dynasty, and I actually have that, and I'll read that because we'll be doing that, and it's also in a couple of my books, so oh. Don't worry, we're only just getting started, Celery. So, yeah. Around Oh, cool. Well, you know what, Judge? I may have to confer with some folks then about a little further about the Hellenic practice and comparing that with Kemetic. Especially because you have folks that do both. So. So yeah. But let's go ahead and get started. Since I guess we waited just long enough for some folks to be able to tune in. So, everything is happening as it should. So, I'm going to do it a little differently this time because I have this little candle, which is actually going to go on the other altar, but we'll use it to start off. Here we go. And I have a backup in case this grill lighter runs out. Oh, good. It hasn't done that yet. Okay. Come in peace, bright eye of Horus. Come in peace. Receive the light. The eye of Horus shines like Ra in the twin horizons, and evil hides in fear of it. Receive the light. The eye of Horus destroys the enemies of Ra and all of their abodes till none remain. Receive the light. The eye of Horus comes to the four corners of the world, to everyone who is tuning in now and catching us in replay. It comes and we are purified with it. Once, twice, thrice, 4 times purified. Receive the light. And over here, since we are observing the Osiris Mysteries, I got our candles for Isis. Okay. And for Nephthys, Nebuchadnezzar. 2 sisters, who mourn and guard Osiris. And I tell you what, start with the invocation. So I'm drawing a little bit from the rite that we do in Circle, but I've obviously adapted it a little bit for doing a live service, because that was something that we hadn't started doing, when I first wrote this. So. Great and little in needs of the gods, lords of Ma'at, united in Ma'at, great ones who reject wrongdoing. Assemble before the Lord of all, and turn your faces toward us. Our hearts are straight, our hearts are open. No darkness is in our hearts. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who came from noon at the first time, for such is your uniqueness. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who placed Hu at your left side, for such are the words you commanded. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who placed Sia at your right side, for such is your great wisdom. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, whose Hika goes before you, for such is your ability. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who rules with Ma'at upon your brow, for such is your righteousness. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, and hail and praise unto you, O Osir, Kentiamentiu, and the two kites, Aset and Nebatat, all you lords of love and lords of life. May you grant us life, well-being, and health. May our eyes perceive your goodness and our hearts receive your wisdom. May you shine upon us as you traverse the sky, that we may bring to you Ma'at and cast out his fet. And may you guard us from the evil one through the dark hours of the night, your protection being before us and your strength being within us. Take these, all you Nichiru, these cool waters which are the inundation, they may cool your hearts. O you Nichiru, these cool waters are the eye of Horus, that your hearts may be refreshed. Milk, milk, may you taste it in your shrine. We give you this milk which comes from the great flood, O you Nichiru, that you may be purified with it. We give you incense. We give you incense great of purity. This incense is the eye of Horus, O you Nichiru. It comes to you, it cleanses you, it adorns you. It takes its place upon your hands. This incense is the eye of Horus, and its fragrance comes to you. Take this, your bread on which gods live. This bread is the eye of Horus, O you Nichiru. Lift it to your faces and be at peace with it. The gardens prosper and Hapi rejoices, overflowing with his meal. We fill the eye of Horus for you with wine, O Ra, O you Nichiru, that you may drink and be pure. The doors of heaven and the doors of earth are open with libations for you within this house. Hapi gives in abundance, thousands of offerings, all things good and pure. And I was actually going off book until the last part of this. There we go. For libations for you within this house. May your faces be refreshed with your libations, your wine and your water. This is a little bit of actor's jargon. If you can go off book, that means you're doing it without looking at your notes. So, okay. Pure is Ra Horaketi within his house. Pure is Osu Kentiamentiu within his house. Pure are the cause of all of these gods, with this good myrrh that is given. Jehuti proclaims it. It is written in his house of sacred words. Hapi gives in abundance, thousands of offerings, all things good and pure, for the cause of Ra Horaketi, Osu Kentiamentiu, and all of their need, in every place that their immortal cause dwell. Come to your body, O Ra Horaketi. Come to your body, O Osir Kentiamentiu. Come to your bodies, O Yunachiru. Come to your offerings, your invocations, and come unto us, your servants, who are mindful of your feasts and your offerings. Bring your power, your hika, your honor, and your ba to these your offerings, and partake of them. Okay, let me just set this one aside. Come, O people, raise these offerings before the faces of these gods. Lift the offerings before Ra, before Osir, Kentiamentiu. All life comes from them, all health comes from them, all stability comes from them, all good fortune comes from them, as it has since the first time. Ora Horaketi, and your son, the Osir Nisu Nebkeperu Ra, your foes retreat from you. Horus turns himself to his eye. Turn yourselves to these, your offerings, and receive them from our hands. And now we get to the fun part, because ordinarily this is where we would turn and we would give our voice offerings to the blessed dead, but now we're going to have Osiris come to be among the blessed dead. Poor thing. I turn around and you're like hanging halfway out of your chair. Are you okay? You just look like you were about to sleep. Did the myrrh get you again? You need some more. Cool waters. There you go. Okay. So this is where we're actually going to vary it up a little bit. So we're actually going to make sure my hands are clean. We're actually going to bring Osiris, instead of bringing him in procession down to, the ancient cemetery in Abydos, we just have a spot prepared next to the Aku shrine for him. And so just going to see if I could, are you up for participating with a little something?
Sure.
Okay. Remember, there's a little chant, and this is something that, again, is recorded from ancient sources, and it says, I live, I die, I am the grain, I do not perish. So, I'm going to say one part, and then y'all just repeat after me, and then I say another part, and then it's very short, real easy to follow along. So we do that as we're moving Osiris. So, I live.
I die.
No. Say, I live. You say, I live.
I live.
I die.
I die.
I am the grain.
I am the grain.
I do not perish.
I do not perish.
I live.
I live.
I die.
I die.
I am the grain.
I am the grain.
I do not perish.
I do not perish.
There we go. And we'll light his candle. since it's no longer next to something I don't want getting too hot. There we go. And I have my plaque for Sokar next to him because, Osiris and Sokar became, joined at a certain point. And next week we'll, get Sokar, more involved. But there we go. And would you be interested in reading something? Or could you read? Would you be able to?
I need my glasses.
Oh dear. Okay. Because I don't have those here. Okay. It's 12-point type. It's not teeny tiny.
It's not okay.
Yeah, just these 2 lines. Now, what he would be reading is actually Horus speaking, and this is something from the coffin texts.
Oh, Horus,
Come to
Jadu. Come to Jadu. Clear my ways for me and go into my house that you may see my form and praise my shape. Do not let him who has done me harm approach me.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It didn't occur to me until after we, closed the door. It's like, oh yeah, I keep forgetting that you need reading glasses in order.
I do too. Until the moment I need them, then I'm like, man.
Yeah, but I wanted you to read that because
Well, I did not read it well, and I apologize.
Do you want to try again? Since you read it
Some other time.
Okay.
It's still hard to read correctly when you can't see it right.
Yeah, okay. But yes, so I'll go ahead and read Horus. So Horus is going to, sound a little different. But, O sir, hear this true message which I shall say to you. The gods in Duat fear you, while I remain on your throne like the Lord of Life. He who did you harm shall not see your weariness. I shall send you those who dwell in sunshine. I shall invest them with my forms, that they may tell you my affairs and hear your report. And, if we were able to do this and have a group of us together, then we would all say, we are indeed those who dwell in sunshine. Horus has invested us with his forms, that we may take his affairs to Osir and Duat, that we may hear the words of Unafa. So, in other words, Horus is saying, while he is ruler of the living, he sends, us in his name to come, and perform these rites for Osiris, and to hear what Osiris would have to say to us, and to tell him of what passes on Earth. Which makes sense when you think about it, and this is the time of year when the veil is thin, and that's what we're doing.
Right.
So, and again, that's adapted from, I don't have the exact citation of which coffin text it is in my ritual notes, but it is there, and I could go and find it. So. Okay. Let's start with this. These are your cool waters, O Osiris, which have come from your son Horus. I have come bringing you Horus's eye, that your heart may be cooled with it. I have placed it at your feet. There we go. Your heart will not grow weary of it. 4 times. Come, you have been invoked. 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 Yes. And that's something that stretches all the way back to the pyramid texts. And yeah, I think we'll pour the water for our blessed dead after we've, you know, done the part for Osiris. So here we are. We give you incense. We give you incense great of purity. Let its scent reach you and purify you. And set it in our little holder right here. Okay. And some of our natron that we made earlier in the year. This is your natron of Horus. This is your natron of Jehuti. This is your own natron among the gods. You're purified with it. Your mouth is as clean as a calf's on the day it is born. And milk that parts your mouth, and you taste it in your shrine. That of Horus, that of Jehuti, that of the two gods reconciled. Milk. Scoot it over here. And just checking to make sure I know that. Yeah, okay, that's one. All right. And yes, this adds some carved of balsa wood, and I actually do have another piece of balsa wood that's meant to be carved into one, you know, at some point. So, you know, if you're like, oh, hey, cool, where do you get that? You right now you kind of have to make your own. I'm hoping you get some on Etsy, but you know, all things in the fullness of time. So. I have fixed your jaw spread for you. Let me part your mouth for you. Oh, sir, take this, Horus's eye which had departed. I have returned it to you, so that you may take it to your mouth. This is the breast of Horus's body. This is the breast of Isis, that she may suckle you. And that's what we offer. Our milk. And calls for the two eyes of Horus, black and white. We have black, and this one is white on the inside, so together we have black and white. Lift them to your face and illuminate it. And it's funny, that's something else, you know, as someone was asking earlier, you know, how do you get all the accoutrements? Sometimes as you're going along and you're trying to, you know, practice, you say, oh, gee, I could really use, you know, and you think of something. And actually in trying to put this together and say, okay, a black cup and a white cup that look kind of matched. You know what? I need to see about getting some made like that. So we can have those for, you know, the opening of the mouth offerings. It's called You Learn by Doing. And what I'm going to do here, and again, if we were doing a full-on ancient Egyptian funeral, and we wanted to have the 7 sacred oils, I have a set here, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and then the 7th is right there. But I'm going to anoint him with one, and we'll just read for the other ones. But I've got them here, and I also could not find a way to fit on the altar. But someone was kind enough to give me this beautiful. Okay, it's actual onyx, and this has 7 tea light holes in it. It's actually quite heavy. I was trying to set it on the altar, and I was afraid of tipping it. So but I have it here, and I also wouldn't want to mess up the onyx by pouring oil into it. But it, was given to me with the suggestion of having the 7 sacred oils in it. So I think what I will do is just set the jars, by each opening, just symbolize that we're offering the 7 sacred oils. So, and this one here is the Hatanash, which would be, okay, right there. Alrighty. Oh, sir, I have filled your eye for you with unguent. Set 1. Oh, sir, the eye of Horus is presented to you, by which he caused devastation. And not the Team Rocket kind. Oh, sir, the eye of Horus is presented to you, which Horus reunited. And see, this is actually a pun because then it calls for Nikanum oil, which is oil of uniting. Oh, sir, the eye of Horus is presented to you, with which he brought the gods. That would be Tuat oil. Let's see. Here we are. Unguent. Unguent, where should you be? You were on the forehead of Horus, but I will put you on the forehead of this Osiris. You will make it sweet for him. Wearing you. You will make him Ak wearing you. You shall make him powerful. You shall put the fear of him in the eyes of all of the Aku who see him and hear his name. Oh, sir, I have brought you the eye of Horus, which he seized for your forehead. Alrighty. Yeah. Oh, sir, we have filled your eye with unguent. You may rejoice with it. Okay. Here we go. And of course, your bread. And peace for you shall be Ra in the sky. Peace be before you. Peace be behind you. Peace be your lot. And with this bread, this offering, Hotepu, may you be at peace with it. And I'm actually going to have to take a picture of that because it's down below the camera, but I just took the little jars of oil and I set them kind of on the openings, and they match. They just line up very nicely. So it actually is working out really well. Wait. Oh, okay. Criminy. Here. Just a sec. See, I'll definitely have to take a picture of that. I know you'll be able to. See, it's pretty cool, huh? So.
Yes, it is pretty neat.
Yeah, I promise I will take pictures because that.
Very good.
Yeah. But okay. Alrighty. And now for the, I have to credit you, Yamanu, for this idea because, and when in the opening of the mouth, of course, one of the things that we do, and when we're outside, a sort of a highlight is to take a red piece of pottery and smash the crap out of it, and we have pieces of pottery that go flying. I tell people to step back, but we're inside, so we can't obviously do that. Well, I have a piece of red origami paper, and so I folded sort of a pseudo bowl with it. I had to, my fingers had to remember how to do the origami because it's been a minute. But so this will stand in for our red pottery. And, we smash this to symbolize that the eye of Horus has been made sound. It has been set for you that you may be strong and that evil may... Oh, hang on. Interesting that you timed it at that point. You all right?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the eye of Horus has been set for you that you may be strong and that evil may be afraid of you. And obviously it's not quite as climactic as, smashing a plate, but it makes sure that we don't take out anything else in the room. Let's see. I'm going to set our ads over here. And now we can remember our blessed dead. There's the water. I'll pour this water from the table of Osiris. Hail, O sir, take this your libation which is of this land, which produces all things. All things indeed come forth from this, from upon which you live, upon which you exist, which we bring to our blessed dead who are in your kingdom in Duat. And we'll light their candle. There we go. And yes, so kind of in between, you've got the our Immute fetish, which basically I drew up a pattern and sewed it and stuffed it, so it's almost like a stuffed animal, which kind of fits because it was originally like a leopard hide or some other kind of spotted animal hide that was stuffed and put on a pole. So, and there were some folks who mentioned, blessed dead that they wanted remembered. Of course, Jory, who is on the group, mentioned his grandmother, and he has an Aunt Dee Dee, and a couple of other folks. And someone else mentioned, and this is very appropriate, a friend of ours had a coworker who went missing a couple of months ago. Well, she's not missing anymore because her murderer confessed and is in jail on like $1 million bond right now, but they're looking for her right now. And this is what Osiris and Isis and Nephthys went through. And so certainly we have to offer our prayers to Isis and Nephthys that they can help, our friend's coworker be found so that she can be laid to rest. Yeah.
May Anubis assist as well.
Yes. So, and also to remember the people that we've lost this year. I think our same friend lost a friend named Amy, and can relate to that. And we've lost a lot of people this year. So, we have to ask Osiris to prepare a place for them as well. So. Horku ta henket kakao updus in a chimmerhut. Kutnibet nofre wabet ankhet nachrim min kawan nakupu nibu ma keru nibu kirin nachara. A voice offering of bread, beer, 1,000 of beef and fowl, incense, oils, and all good and pure things on which God lives, the cause of all of these aku, all true of voice before the great God.
Can I offer 1,000 of bread and beer too?
Sure.
Because it occurred to me,
Hmm.
the 1,000 of beef and fowl, everybody's going to appreciate
Mm-hmm.
because beef and fowl are expensive. But you know what? 1,000 of bread and beer.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, if you have bread and beer, you have civilization.
Yes.
And if anyone should have 1,000 of bread and beer,
Mm-hmm.
it is anyone that is remembered here.
Yeah. Well, and remember, the whole thing with the voice offering is something that anybody could say. And the idea is by saying it, you're making sure that they get it. May you have, 1,000 of bread and beer, beef and fowl, and all good and pure things on which a God lives. For the cause of, and you'd say the cause, whoever it is that you want to devote it to.
Okay, I just had to ask because
Yeah.
you normally say, may you have bread and beer, 1,000 of beef and fowl. And I'm like, wait a minute, wouldn't they want 1,000 of bread and beer? I would.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there's actually a little bit of variation in it. And see, another thing, there are some groups that would technically that they would raise the technicality that we're not saying a royal offering, an offering which the king gives.
Right.
Well, in our belief, the kings are all on the other side with Osiris. And so we're the ones giving voice offerings.
And we do not hold ourselves as kings for certain.
Right. The kings of nothing except bad puns and, and mischief.
And love and protection.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the whole point. So that's why, ours is, just it is a voice offering. So, and at this point, I know I've kind of concentrated on this, and not, looked at any of the comments. So I'm going to have to take a second to scroll back. If there's some requests that people have, I'll read those aloud. And we'll, read things if people want, addresses to specific deities. Oh, goodness. Okay, yeah, all right. Okay, yeah, and I was noticing Celery saying, that she's working on videos as well, but just been in art school and struggling with time constraints. That is art school for you, especially if it's a good one. They're going to be keeping you busy. So, believe me, I know. You can ask Darren. He stayed up with me many late nights. Oh, goodness. I'm sorry you're feeling bad, Almanac. I hope you're starting to feel better. Oh, goodness. And Yodi's had a real bad arthritis flare for the past few weeks. Well, depending on where you're at, I think the weather might be having a lot to do with that. Okay, and we have someone who's tuning in and hasn't been in a while, and welcome back. process Osiris to our family's cemetery. No. Okay. Yeah, and with the sensitivity to smoke, I have to be careful with incense smoke, sometimes because of, I don't want to set off asthma, but.
Incidentally, I need to be let out.
Oh, okay. Okay, asking, prayer request asking for grandmother and aunt to have a long and blessed life. I have some folks I want to add to that as well. And thanks to Jahiti for passing a test. Awesome. Someone says, I want to thank you in real time for sending a prayer to Sekhmet for me last time she connected with me. And wow, that's awesome. Okay, and Amanok needs a divination. Okay, and what are in the 7 oils? That's some of them are a coconut base, and some of them are like a jojoba oil base, and or things like jojoba and almond. But it's kind of a guess as to what they would be. See, the original oils, the base in a lot of them was wood pitch. And wood pitch is one of the most viscous substances on Earth. And I do not want to put wood pitch on resin statues. So that's why I use, a lighter base. So it's adapted from what the ancient recipe would have been. That, and there's a lot of ingredients that they have that we're not really sure what flowers or resins or whatever they were, so it has to be reconstructed. So hopefully.
Approximated.
Yes, it is approximated. Oh goodness. And okay, and let's insert smashing noise here. Yeah. Goodness. Okay, please mention my dad, my grandparents, my cats Buddy and Beauty, and my friend Heath.
They are so mentioned.
Yes, and that's right. Wolf lost his mom to COVID this year.
Oh.
Yeah, and as well as one of his uncles.
We love you, Wolf's family.
Yeah. I remember my gecko Ellie, and a very important homeless man in my community, River Rick.
God bless River Rick.
Well, it's funny. River Rick, I'm immediately thinking of, Osiris had a connection with the River Nile. So
right.
May River Rick
find his way home.
Yeah. Peace. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Okay, and along with the and Rebecca lost a nephew this year as well. Wow.
I'm sorry, Rebecca.
Yeah. But yes, and we are going to do divinations in just a minute. Someone just got a great idea to make a clay Osiris, wrap him up, and make a mummy. Actually, you know what? You're very, very close to something that they did in ancient times. They would make a clay Osiris mummy, but they would put like certain ingredients in it, and there were, things they would recite along with it. And then, yes, they would bury it in the temple, like in different locations, and it would be there for a year. And then they would, or actually it would be like enshrined in like a specific spot, and then at the end of the year they would bury that one, and then they would have another one as the Osiris for the year, and that's in Papyrus Salt 825, the one I've got the book for.
Right.
And it's all in French.
Have they found a cache of the buried ones?
Yes, yet? They have. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, they found it in in Dendera, and I think also there was a chapel that they set up in Thebes, in Ptolemaic times, and so that was something that became a yearly thing. So your inspiration is spot on with that. So, And the thing about growing wheat grain from work too. The beds. That's something else that they would do. They would make a little bed shaped like Osiris, and they would sprout grain in it. They actually found one in Tut's tomb. Of course, the funny thing with it is, they planted the grain in it and watered it and then buried it. So what happens is it sprouts, but because it doesn't have any sun, it doesn't turn green, and then it doesn't last very long. But the idea was they were planting grain for him so that he would be reborn.
Right.
So yeah, all of those things you're
spot on.
Yeah. It is no longer an unverified personal gnosis. It has been corroborated. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Okay, and prayer for guidance in job matters and a divination regarding job matters and relationships. Okay. All right. Well, Yodi, thanks for joining in. Because Yodi's got to step out. And an Osiris chia pet. You know what? I think that would also be something.
It would be amazingly appropriate.
Yeah, it would be a logical extension of an Osiris
would.
chia pet. If you could find a way to actually make them in ceramic or something, I would totally buy that from you on Etsy. Osiris chia pet. But yeah. Oh, neat! And Rebecca's saying I have a succulent plant I grew from a leaf from a dying plant that somebody had abandoned, and she calls it her Osiris plant.
Wow.
So, cool. It's nighty night, Yodi. Okay.
Ooh,
So we're gonna do divinations. Did you need to step out?
I do.
Okay. Let me open the door for you. Now, if you want to come back, because you tend to be really helpful with those things.
I'll be back.
Okay.
I didn't want to make horrible noises on mic.
Okay. Well, there you go. Okay, so he will be rejoining us shortly, and I will get the cookies out, and we will do our divinations. And then, after we're done with all of that, then we bring Osiris back, and we do our raising of the Jed. So I'll show you the Jed for that. So.
This is a story about a Colombian Jed. Sorry.
Beverly. Goodness, Darren, the things you come up with. Okay, so going down the list. Okay, and someone wants a prayer for my community because we're having issues with the water service. You know what? I can certainly appreciate that because we had issues with that back in February. I'll tell you what, I will look for something here. I should have read this back in February. And this is actually a hymn to Hapi as the inundation of the Nile. That he may restore the water service where our friend is at. So, mighty is Hapi in his cavern, his name unknown to those below, for the gods do not reveal it. You people who extol the gods, respect the awe his son has made, the Lord of all who sustains the shores. O joy when you come, O joy when you come, O Hapi, O joy when you come. You who feed men and herds with your meadow gifts. O joy when you come. O joy when you come, O Hapi. O joy when you come. And for all of those that we've mentioned, our blessed dead, and for those that need guidance, this is another different hymn to Osiris. Hail, Osiris, son of Nut, two-horned, tall of crown, given crown and joy before the Enid, whom the great powers fear, for whom the great rise from their mats, for fear of whom Shu has made, awe of whom Tefnut fashioned. Such is Osiris, king of the gods, great power of heaven, ruler of the living, king of those beyond, whom thousands bless in Karaha, whom mankind extols and you knew, whom the gods, when they see him, worship, whom the spirits, when they see him, adore, who is mourned by multitudes in thinness, who is hailed by those below. Okay. And scoot that over so we have a little room for our bowl for our cookies. Let's see who we've got first. Yeah, we're going to run a little bit longer this time, but that's because, this is kind of a big holiday. So. Okay, all right, so I'm going to ask for a divination. And Sean Rowland had a couple of specific questions in mind. Okay. All right, and I'll kind of keep an eye on where that's at. We'll start with Amanakt and then Sean. Okay. Amanakt, this one is for you. Okay, Amanakt, it says, to be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. So, yes, to be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. So whatever it is, it's not going to be as big as you think in the greater scheme of things. Okay, now Sean Rowland had a couple of questions. And what do you know?
You got a couple answers.
Yeah. Two cookies came out. So let's start with your first one. Sean, your first one says, you will enjoy true success in whatever you do. I think, did you have a question about jobs? I know somebody did.
Hang on, Sean. Your second one.
Yes, your second one is coming up. Nope. Here we go. Get enough cookies. There we go. Your second question. It says, don't be discouraged because every wrong attempt discarded is another step forward. Every wrong attempt discarded is another step forward. Don't feel like you're wasting your time. You're making progress. Sometimes you're just having to go through process of elimination.
Learn from your mistakes and go forward.
Yes, don't be discouraged.
And they're telling you you're going to be successful.
Yeah. Slog
through the BS. Mm-hmm. Pay your dues. You're going to make it. Grit your teeth. Don't give up.
Yeah. As you'll enjoy true success in whatever you do. Now, I feel inclined to add, true success may not look like what the rest of the world thinks it should.
Or what we've been raised to think.
Yes, and we've been raised to think that, the big bucks and the fancy cars and all that stuff, that's success. Now, success is what makes you feel fulfilled, and what you, if you want to get up in the morning and do this, then that's real success. So, but you will have success in whatever you do. So, okay. Alrighty, so Daniel Riffle, take a divination. I know you said you were sick and you're, hoping that you'd get better, and we're hoping for you as well. And Sarah, I would love a divination as well, if possible, specifically about the situation that's going on right now. Yeah, because something happened to Sarah, and so we, want to give her some good vibes. So, okay, Daniel and then Sarah. Okay. All right, Daniel. It is good to let a little sunshine out as well as in.
Daniel, you need to give something of yourself and put it out there. There are people that need everything that's good about you. Be some sunshine for somebody.
To get a little sunshine, you got to give a little
Right.
sunshine. Okay. And now for Sarah. She has a question, a very specific question. So, Cyrus, I'm the great in need if you would give us some guidance for her. And I hope I'm using the correct pronoun. Correct me if I'm not.
Please forgive us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it says your intelligence is something to be admired. And I know that may not seem like it has anything to do with what you were specifically asking about, but it may be that in the midst of all this, you might be feeling like second guessing yourself, and they're saying don't do that.
Yeah. Use your brain, admit the truth, and hold it. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. What you know is what you know, and you're right.
Yeah. Hope that helps. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, and Alejandro would like a prayer for guidance in job matters. And you know what? I tell you what, Osiris is a good one when it comes to the material plane. I've done money spells, invoking him, and I remember that was before I started working at New Horizons, actually. So, oh goodness, where are we? Okay, Brian asked for a divination, and the Ur-friendly podcast. And someone else, Akira saying, Texan here had issues with water back in February too. A week or so without water and power, can understand. Okay, and celery needs one too, and sarcastic. Okay, prayer for a beloved friend who's moving to another country. May the gods guide her, protect her, and open the way for her to succeed there. Yes, definitely. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So Sarah's was relevant. Says you were very wise to contact who you did. So yes, you're that thing about your intelligence. There you go. So okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm just having to kind of scroll back a little bit. So I noticed Brian and oh goodness, Brian, Celery, and I think and Alejandro. And now, if I'm missing anyone, just go ahead and mention that, so I don't forget, because I had to scroll back through a lot of stuff. But okay, we'll start with Brian. And Brian, it says, the greatest pleasure in life is doing what people say you cannot do.
Amen.
Hear to that, yes. The greatest pleasure in life is doing what people say you cannot do. So if someone told you, oh, you can't do that, or oh, it's a waste of time, or something negative like that, use that as your fire and go forward. So Celery, got one coming for you. Wow, I have one like balanced here on the rim.
Wow.
Take
it.
Yeah. So and one that fell out too. So I get the feeling that they're like, I'm going to start with the one that actually came out. Then we'll see what the one on the rim said. So I guess somebody gave you a rim shot. Say what?
Little boots.
Yes. Okay, Celery. This first one says, instead of giving someone a piece of your mind, give someone the piece of your mind.
Do you understand that? Instead of giving somebody a piece of
your mind,
give
them the piece of
that
your
is
mind.
within your mind.
Yes.
Help them find something peaceful.
It may be that there's something that may be a misunderstanding.
Right. And,
and rather than jump to a conclusion.
And this is the challenge of, you have to find peace within yourself, too.
Yeah. Because if you can't exactly give to others what you don't have within yourself to give.
That's it.
Yeah, so hopefully we're giving you some peace, and then that can radiate out.
Yeah.
Now this other one here, I said it was balanced perfectly on the rim, so I think that's kind of meant for you too. And it says, be curious always, for knowledge will not acquire you, you must acquire it.
Aha. Don't assume things are just gonna come. Go get it.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing. Since you are in art school, I will have to share, because I immediately thought of this. If you have to take art history, do not assume that you know everything there is to know about ancient Egypt and blow off that part of the lecture. Because you might learn something that you didn't know. Because that happened to me. So, after that I learned, and I missed a test question because of that. And so I was like, oh man, so I learned from that, never assume, oh, well, I already know that. And it's just like that fortune. Be curious always. Because, knowledge doesn't pick you up, you have to pick it up. So I think that was their equivalent of, oh, and by the way. And, yes, Alejandro was next. And, because I noticed he had, Alejandro, it sounded like you had a couple of questions, but let's see what they have to say to you. Okay. Oh, here it is. Alejandro, it says, act like a role model. The younger is watching.
She didn't get more blatant than that.
There must be someone in your life, maybe someone that you don't realize they're looking up to you, but they are.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be a family member.
Right. It could be somebody.
Could be a friend. Could be
or I think you'd mentioned something about work.
coworker.
Yeah, there might be a newer or younger
Classmate.
coworker. Yeah. But somebody's looking to you.
Yeah. You may not even know it.
Mm-hmm.
So be the example and dress well.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sarcastic also wants one.
No way.
Okay. Oh, and Brian was like, "Hell yes, I'm going to school for Egyptology." Oh, nice. Yeah. I wish I could be doing that too, but I'm not in the right place. So, have fun for me. Okay, and Akira has a weird question. I have this hollowed out log filled with pebbles and seeds, a rain stick basically. I use in place of a sistrum. Or can I use that in place of a sistrum? I don't see why not. The very natural thing. See, the funny thing is that the sistrum supposedly was meant to evoke the sound of papyrus being rustled and pulled up in the thickets. Now I don't know how much it really sounds like that. Because when I had a papyrus plant, I tried shaking it a few times, and I'm like, well, it makes kind of a whoosh, whoosh, whoosh noise, but that's maybe not quite the same as that. So I don't know, but I don't see why a rain stick wouldn't work.
Yeah, I would say probably any kind of percussion instrument, more or less.
Yeah.
Kind of gets the idea. A maraca.
Yeah.
Anything like that.
Okay.
That one kind of bead that's like around their
the Menot.
They shake it.
Yeah, the Menot necklaces. Yeah. Oh, and Amanak's having to step out, but he says, "I'm going to go, everyone, but I love all of you. This is the highlight of my Friday night. You and everything each one of y'all do means so much to me. And
We love
you too. We love you too. You enjoy your weekend."
Yes. I'm enjoying.
Yeah. Okay, and so the last one I saw was sarcastic.
Good way.
So yeah, we'll catch yours, and then we will do our triumphal return and raising the dead. So, all right. That was kind of fun. It's just like shot straight up. So. I think that was their way of being funny back at you. Okay. Sarcastic. It says, "Courage conquers all things. It even gives strength to the body."
Wow.
Courage conquers all things. It even gives strength to the body.
Buck up, son. You can do it.
That was interesting. Because the cookie just...
Right. It hit the bell.
Yeah.
That's a blessing for him.
Yeah, there you go, sarcastic.
They sent that straight
them.
to you, son.
Again, if we're not using the right pronouns or something, just correct us. But
that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, good way to throw at him. So yeah, yes. The new word for throwing is yeet. To yeet something is to throw it.
Says who?
Says the internet.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll be sure to add that to my college lexicon. See, I typically like to yeet supper, and
Yeet some.
you know,
Yeah.
today I yeet a hamburger.
Actually, you did yeet the hammer. I'm sorry, Boo.
Me too. Boo was hungry.
We'll feed you as soon as we're done. Long story, but yes. So Darren just learned something new. Okay.
I'm gonna yeet on that for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Tomorrow you can learn Yaz.
Yas.
Yeah, it's yes. Internet yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. That one. That one I know. I've seen it in context. Okay. And so now, you know what? I know what I'm going to do, because I was thinking, okay, Osiris needs to make a triumphal return. So I'm going to ask you to provide a sound effect for me, Darren. You know your crowd sound?
Okay.
All right. Because that's the best
Okay.
we can do. Okay. And so, we will. Too much? Yes. There we go. Too much applause and cheering and rejoicing.
Osiris.
There we go.
Osiris.
Yeah.
Osiris.
Okay, yeah. Well, I asked for it. There you go. But he has been transfigured and returned to his place. And we have our Jed column representing.
And he's dropping the column. He's dropping the jet. Oh my God! Off the top rope. Here he goes.
There we go. Yes. So, yes. Now it took me many hours first to cut this on the scroll saw and then to paint it. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Show it off.
Okay. Well, you know what, and I can also say, this is our temples, and I guess I think it's about 3 feet tall, I guess, or 2.5 feet.
Do you make those custom to order?
Well, actually, I have 2 that I'm working on right now. They are almost done. I've got to put a couple more coats of paint on them.
Yeah, they're not
So
quite. They're not quite perfect, but
Right. Well, one of them, the green dripped a bit, so I got to correct that.
will they be available for purchase?
Eventually, when I
Once
can get
complete.
them. Yeah. Once I can get them. Well, here's the thing. I've got to not only finish painting them, and then I've got to figure out like how to package them and everything so that they can ship and not get messed up.
Right.
So once I can do that, yeah. But yeah, they're kind of big, but they're cool.
Yes.
So
Tell your
That's it.
family members you're building a really funky guitar. It will freak them out.
Actually, I was thinking for other folks, because I know there's a couple of folks around here that have like their own kind of temple space in their home or their backyard, whatever. That kind of thing,
Would be great.
Yeah, I would store it inside, but it would be great for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have put the Jed upright. For Sistrums for your Ka and Minnet for your gracious face as you arise, O august Jed, Osiris Sokar, Lord of Shattit. Osiris Sokar appears in glory. Praised are you now. Exalted are you, O rudder. You join with the land that you may travel it. May Ra favor you for your goodness. Come, let us exalt him. You have filled the 2 lands with your beauty, radiant and reborn as the sun in the sky. So there we go. And now, to resume with the regularly scheduled programming. Hail unto you, Atum. Hail unto you, Kepri. You come into being upon the primeval hill. You shine forth upon the shrine of the phoenix in Unu. You breathe out Shu and Tefnut. May the giving of these offerings endure. as the name of Atun, foremost of the great Aeneid endures. May they endure as the name of Shu, Lord of Upper Menset in Yunu, endures. As the name of Tefnut, Mistress of Lower Menset in Yunu, endures. As the name of Geb at the Earth's Ba endures. As the name of Nut in the Shrine of Shanit in Yunu endures. As the name of Oser, Kentiamentiu, endures. As the name of Aset in Nicheru endures. And since this is the Osiris Mysteries, we'll say as the name of Nebetat in Nibet endures. As the name of Horus in Pei endures. As the name of Wajit in Dep endures. As the name of Jehuti in Kemenu endures. As the name of Ra in the Akhet endures likewise for eternity. You have come in peace, O Ra. You have come in peace, O Osir, Asit, and Nebetat. You have come in peace, O Yunechiru. May you go forth in peace, O Ra. And may you go forth in peace, O Yunechiru, to every place your immortal cause wish to be. May you sail in joy in the Menjet bark, and rest content in the Sektet bark. And may you smile upon us, your humble servants. And if there's anything I missed, if anybody needed divination or something else like that real quick, just as I sit down, just give me a quick shout out. Hopefully the buffering isn't too bad.
For the wizard.
Yes, and the crowd goes wild. Osiris is grateful and very amused by Darren's shenanigans. Oh, and it's funny. Sean says a funny unverified personal gnosis. Osiris talked to me on a dark green corded phone.
Cool.
You know what's really funny is we went to that museum exhibit and somebody had put stickers of like the Wikipedia line art of different deities, and so you had the line art of Ra on the wall, and there happened to be a phone, like an old landline based phone, set in the wall right next to the line art of Ra, and I think we took a picture of that.
And I picked it up because I'm like, I wanted to know if he was on the other end of that phone.
Yes.
Because you know what? You don't know if you don't
you never
care.
know if you don't try.
And, what if he wanted to say one word?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Nebuchadnezzar Deers and Dakla as well, yeah. Okay, Wolf needed a divination. Okay. All right, yes, Ross call. Well, Ross seems to get a kick out of it every time you step outside without sunglasses and it's bright.
Yeah, I do want some sunglasses too.
Yeah, we need to get.
He always greets me. He's like, "Hey, buddy, pal."
Yeah, and he's like squinting in the sunlight. So.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well.
It makes me do my Charles Bronson impression.
Yeah. Yes, and a prayer also to Wepwawet, Upwawet, who is also good son of Osiris, the opener of the ways, and he would be the one, leading the way in a traditional procession, and may he also open the ways for, I think it's Alejandro's friend who's leaving the country. May he or she travel safely and come home soon.
Yes.
And in the meantime, for Wolf, who is also a devotee of Wepawet, here's your portion. Okay. Wolf, it says, life is a gamble, so roll the dice.
take a chance. You can't go anywhere by playing it safe.
Yeah. I know you're trying to play it safe because you're dealing with the people that are on the property, but
Well, you know what they're telling you? It's time to do what you don't want to do. It's time to do what you're afraid to do. Take matters into your hands and do the things you need to do to protect your father's property, grandfather's property, and your grandfather's life. Because it's also going to be protecting your life as well. You have to do what you've been afraid to do, what you know is right.
Yeah, life is a gamble, so roll the dice. Or you might be, I was going to say, you might be afraid to try something. They're saying go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah, do it. So.
And you'll have help if you need it. Just ask.
Yeah. So. Okay. He has Ray-Bans. If anyone wants to start up a Kemetic commune, hit me up. You know what? We'll have to talk about that. But yeah, Sarcastic is saying Ross basically like a tourist here in Washington. He never leaves in summer, but you don't see him for the rest of the year until June. So, yeah, I guess it is like cloudy except in the summertime. But that's the Pacific Northwest. But guys, this was a really awesome service. I had a lot of fun. You know, even with the stuff where we're like really focused in, that's still like, you know, really great. So, and some fun improvising. Thanks for your help with that, Derek.
You're welcome. Next time I'll just need my glasses.
Yeah, I'll just have to remember. It's not often that we do something where we have other people reading, but I'll have to remember for next time.
I'm fine until I need to read something, and then all of a sudden, I'm my age.
Or when we introduce new words like yeet.
Look, being from the South, you know, Jeet.
Jeet yet?
No,
Want
Jeet.
to? Yeah.
You want to?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. The whole Jeff Foxworthy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but,
that's for real.
you know, so yeet implies with a fork.
Yeah, it sounds like something different.
Yeet with a fork, yeet with a spoon, yeet with a knife, and your fingers too.
Yeah, well, when in text it
I know that.
But anyway, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for bearing with us. You know, because again, this was a longer service, but yeah, this is a lot of fun. Glad to have you, and I hope everyone has a really wonderful week. You know, big hugs and be safe, and we'll see you this time next week.
And there's something I want to say that I've been wanting to say for a long time.
Okay, go for it.
Guys, we need you as much as you need us. You know, if there's ever a point where we have to miss a service, know that we will be back.
Yeah.
And know that we plan our Fridays for you guys.
Yeah, we plan around doing this.
Yeah.
So.
You are important to us. We love you. And we miss you every day you're not here.
Yeah. Yes, and may all misfortune be yeeted from you.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, and like I say, you know, love you too. So, all right, much love, guys.